Hey everyone, it's Bronx Builder Plays bringing you my first Civilization 7 playthrough. I'm going to do a Let's Play style series where I speak about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. Again, more so for the storytelling aspect as opposed to playing at an optimized level. I hope you guys enjoy it. So let me know what you think about Civilization 7 in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video if you'd like to see more of this playthrough with Isabella. Alright, here is our first Civilization 7 playthrough. I'm gonna start with, let's go to some settings and see how I like to play. You can see that I've already played just a few leaders. For this game, we are going to continue our path of excellence with Isabella, trying to level her up as fast as I can. For the sake of this video, we won't use mementos. I will show the two that I do enjoy using. Certainly this one, Imago Mundi, for the increased scout sight range and the lookout abilities. And the second one, this one is kind of whichever strategy or game I'm going for, but this one right here is a pretty good one, especially since I tend to be focused heavily on gold. This 50% convert city cost is not as big of a hit on the negative side. So, but again, for the sake of this, we're not going to go with any, just to have a clean vanilla playthrough with no bonuses. So again, vanilla, so again, Isabella will start in the Age of Antiquity. We'll go with one of, I think we're going to go with Greece. We'll go with one of her historical choices in the beginning, so Greece it is. And then bump up the difficulty to Viceroy. Again, just to keep it at a normal level. I feel this is challenging enough to where we can do our own thing and make decisions that are not necessarily super optimized, and still have a fun experience where we do find some challenge in it. The AI is not going to be completely steamrolled, nor is it going to be such a burden on us where we have to just build an army or get angry at being forward settled so often. Game speed is going to stick at standard. My favorite map so far, is it's not one of these. It is Fractal. Though I do enjoy the Continents and Continents Plus. Right now, Fractal seems to be a nice map generator where we create enough randomness in the game that creates more, I don't want to say truly natural looking continents, but more natural looking continents than the other or the first two map types. We'll go with standard size to continue to have as many AIs as possible. Now, something I do tweak here as well is the age length. I tend to like using the long setting. I don't know if I want to do that for we'll keep it standard for now, but I will say that I do. You know what? We're gonna go with the long setting. I do enjoy playing on the long setting because you get more done in the age. I like to experience more in the age. I have found that again, playing playing suboptimally, you don't finish the tech tree or the civic tree on this setting. But it does allow for you to do more masteries. It does allow for you to be in the age a little longer, to enjoy the age just a bit more. So, those are the settings, and let's go. Start my timer. It's 5:10. We will go till 5:30. Alright, let's begin game. Isabella of Greece to start us off. And look at our start to begin. Again, fractal map setting creates these fun environments, fun continent shapes, and we're already seeing one right here. Something else I like to do when I'm playing a game, I actually like the hex grid off. I like to enjoy the map in a more, again, not that it's not natural, but like a more organic setting. We keep resources on, and for the sake of like the storytelling, I do turn these things off as well. I can kind of read, what the resources are there, or at least that there are some resources there. But for gameplay, we're going to have these two on. I do actually enjoy having the minimap off. I like seeing more of the map. I don't necessarily need it, as I can just zoom out and look for what I'm looking for. All right. So, Founder is here, and lucky us. I wish a pop-up had come up, but we have the Great Barrier Reef. Fantastic starting tile. Now this, 2, 3, allows us to go out. So, I may just move down here so that we could get this 1, 2, 3 tiles out. We might be missing that one. If we go here, we won't be missing it, but we'll sacrifice a turn. That might have to be it. Wow. All right. Well, look at that. First move, and we are already... Oh, we can't sit there anyway. Got it. Well, hence why you want the resources on. Now I see the deer. There they are. Look at that. I mean, the game is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? All right. Let's stop wasting time on that first turn, huh? Keep the yields on. I'll turn that off. All right, cool. Decisions. Well, we're definitely going to expand out here first. 3 tiles out. That's the third one. And it can't help it, so we're just going to settle here. Though settling here doesn't hurt us. You know what? And you know why we're going to settle down here instead of here? Settling here is going to force us to get a tile up, right? And so we will get this resource right away to add to our production, and then we will start claiming those. And I think that's enough time to do that. No Founders Edition pack locked, or I should say no Founders Palace unlocked. I have that option unchecked because, again, yield's getting all up in the way of the beauty here, because I like seeing the natural, or not the natural, but the cultural architecture of the culture you select. So that's why that is not the Founders Palace. We're going to go with Scout first, as that seems to be, for anything optimal, it seems to be the optimal choice, because the Scouts are very strong. With their new abilities, it makes so much sense to have them. And lucky us, we got a Karn right here to begin. What we're going to do, I'm going to go 1, and since that thing is right there, we don't need to get it right now. I'm going to do a search. Okay, and now we have a heading. Right, we're going to head this way first. We also have these two, actually. Didn't even pop this. All right, so we're going to actually go boom, and then to the east first. When we build our second unit, which may or may not be a scout. It's going to be a scout. We'll go pick up that single one over there and then do another search. But search ability, great choice on your first turn because, again, it gives your scout a heading, right? Somewhere to go without being, quote-unquote, blind. And then from a natural standpoint, right, what are we going to go with first here? Well, we settled on the coast. Naturally, that would mean our people are probably going to be very good with sailing because they are right on the water, so they would naturally gravitate towards that. We also have animal husbandry. Makes sense because we're right next to the deer, right? And then we have pottery, which also makes sense. So which one are we going to go with first? Animal husbandry. That's the one that makes natural sense for me in this game. So for 6 turns, we get to choose whether it's going to be a hoplite or a scout. I feel like in the early age, we're going to go scout again. We want our people exploring the lands, determining where we're going to actually settle. And I was just about to say, sometimes these random events, the narrative events that pop up, may actually afford us some culture to help us build that scout faster or train that scout faster. In this case, we've noticed that the evening temperatures here are perfect for the grapes that grow here. And if they were to establish a vineyard, the wine would flow for miles and miles. So we actually can turn this tile into a wine tile, a resource that's there permanently. Or do we just take the 10 production and get the scout out faster? Long game. I think we're, especially as new people to this world, we're going to establish the wine resource right there. And now that we can grow our city, we're going to go to the hides so that we can build that scout faster. And look at that. That went from 6 turns, minus the 1 turn, so it's 5, and now we're down to 3. Thank you, dear. Alright, let's keep going. Why is this not a wine resource yet? It's actually getting me scared. Is that a bug? Did we find a bug? Oh, man. Alright, well, let's keep going since we have our heading. I'm kind of upset. Ah, there it is. It's wine. It's there. It's just not, the icon's not showing. Well, the game is still early, still technically in advanced access as it drops tomorrow. So that might be one right there, right? That should be a wine resource. We should see it. There it is. Ha! Just turn it off and turn it back on. Typical fix for all technology. Alright, cool. Let's continue. Alright, so this guy, and sorry, I normally don't move him 1 turn at a time, but in this game it actually helps because you might find an independent people, you might find something else that makes you want to go in a different direction. In this case, we don't have anything, so we're just going to cross this river and keep going. A lot of production out of these tiles, potentially, right, if we expand that way. Now, I already said we're going to expand out here. Why is that, you say? Well, let's answer that question. For the lack of playing optimally in games and telling a story, Isabella is our what you call frame or structure of the story we're going to tell. And Isabella gains 300 gold every time she discovers a natural wonder, or we discover this natural wonder. That's going to be doubled if the natural wonder is out in the distant lands. We don't know what distant lands are yet, though. But here's the big one. 100% tile yields from natural wonders. That's massive, and that is why we're going to spend our growth points on these tiles of the Great Barrier Reef, because instead of getting 2 food, 2 science, and 2 happiness, she's going to get double that. 4 food, 4 science, and 4 happiness. And you'll see those yields change once we start working those, which will be soon enough. And our second scout already has his heading going out this way because we had that, what are these? A cave. Our first scout found caves down there. Let's see. Our first scout also found traveling merchants, and they've set up a fair at the crossroads. Visitors gawk at the curious, and take part in lively entertainments before returning to the road. So do we want the happiness enjoying the fair, or do we bring the fair back home for our people and thus get this culture? Well, now you're asking, well, what do these 2 things do? Well, the happiness. Let's go in here. So in our social policies, we can see we have 192 turns left before our next celebration, and this celebration is determined by happiness, right? Since we're generating 1 happiness per turn because of the tile we're working, which is right here, our things are blah, right? It's gonna take a long time for our people to celebrate because they're just not that happy. Versus culture. Well, what does culture do? Culture currently studying chiefdom, right? So culture advances us on the civic tree, and we are automatically locked into our first civic tree, or a civic tech, and then we get to branch off and decide which way we want to go further down the road. If we get the culture, we get to go a little further or faster on this. And now at 45 culture, with us generating 11, it's about, what is that, 55 culture to get this done. So at 45 culture being given to us, we speed this up right along. So why am I going to take the culture? I'm going to take the culture because at my next growth event, I'm going to significantly improve my happiness very, very quickly with these on a per turn basis. So we're going to forego the happiness right now, and we're going to bring back this fair home. And you can see how much that jumped up from 5 turns to now being done next turn. Nice jump, nice jump. And now naturally, what would we be doing here? Would we be establishing a granary or picking another unit? And what we're going to do for our story, we're going to start developing our hoplites for protection, just in case this unforgiving world proves itself to be mean as well. Let's go. So our next heading is over here, and what we're going to do, since we already know this is here, we're going to go down 1, and then being behind the mountain, we should be able to see a little bit more, especially beyond this lake. What did we find? Nothing. Yes. Now with the memento that I had mentioned before, we would have seen a lot more on this map, but of course this is the base game and we're good with that. We're happy with that. So we didn't find anything other than some resources down here, a nice area to settle, not tundra, right? So our people might actually want to come down here and expand their territory, but for now we didn't find much. And our scout continues this way. It's looking nice. You got to appreciate the graphics of this game. I mean, my goodness. All right, now, since we got our first civic tree, we decide which way we want to go. And I feel like naturally, especially since we're Greece, are we going to go the militaristic route and unlock our first army commander? Solid choice. We also get a social policy to unlock here, based off of our government, which again we already know is going to take us 192 turns to get there, so this isn't really affecting us just now. But we gain a free army commander with this. Or do we want to unlock our first pantheon with mysticism? I think we're going to do that, only because odds are that we won't find anybody too mean, even though we have the Jeshi people here and they are hostile, indicated by the red outline of their banner. We have to watch out for them. They're right across this river. So lucky us that we're building the hoplites first. Let's choose our government now. What should we pick? Classical Republic is always a good choice. I mean, all of these are really good choices in their own right. But first and foremost, the government does not give you these bonuses right off the bat. If we read what they give us, it says each government gives us a set of choices during a celebration. So again, that marker of 192 turns later, we would be picking one of these two choices in either section of government, right? We would get to choose if we want a 20% food for 10 turns or production towards constructing buildings for 10 turns if we were an oligarchy. So that is the choice that we're making. We're saying in advance, when our people get happy, how are they going to celebrate, right? What are the bonuses that we're going to get? You know what? We're going to stick with the Classical Republic just to be natural with Greece, right? We'll stick with what historically occurred. And having unlocked chiefdom, we get to choose, and I should say having unlocked the first government, we get to choose a social policy. You see, these do not have an icon, and I'll show you what those look like. Those are actually called traditions. Right now, these are social policies available to everyone in the game. We just have to make the choice as to what we want to do. Since we have been going with the culture, let's keep culture coming in. Our charismatic leader, Isabella, really affects the population. And the voice of power. So a newly elected governor has earned the people's fervor. With her impassioned speeches, she seems adept at riling up the people. So does she do so for whip up the enthusiasm of war or inspire love of their homeland? Nice choice. You know what we're going to take? Not for the sense of war, but we're going to say that she just has the sense of defending our beautiful homeland. So now we're going to have 2 hoplites pretty quickly. And hoplites are nice because of their inherent bonuses of being adjacent to one another, giving them a combat bonus. And we're going to take care of the Jeshi right away because our scout told us that these people were just not nice to us. In discovering a new thing, refugees have settled near a grove of berry bushes, vital nourishment. The juices also produce a dye that may catch the eyes of market-goers. So do we sample these berries where we'll get 30 culture and 20 food? Or do we just test the dyes and get science? Well, we're about to unlock this tech. So 1 turn, getting to plus 45, I believe it does carry over. 99.9% sure that is the case. So we could take the science and it would benefit the next tech that we research. Or do we want the culture again, which would significantly help our mysticism at 30 culture. So what's that, about 2-ish turns off of this because we're generating 13 and we're at 9 right now. And the food. The food going to Athena would help it grow just a little faster. We got our first growth event, so we could help boost it up just a little bit more, right? And you saw that icon just going up. That was with the 30 food. And we're able to expand. And where are we expanding? Naturally, we would want this salt. Our people are over here looking at this. They taste in the earth and they're like, whoa, something's different over here. It's not just snow, but we're going to go up to the Great Barrier Reef so that our people can get happy. Look at that. You see how the tiles just doubled there? So our growth is going to happen a lot faster, and our people are significantly happier. Now generating 5 happiness. Loving it. All right, let's go find this cave. You can wait there. Well, you gotta wait there.
The caged bird watches butterflies with envy.
Yes. Yes, it does. Powerful quote. All right, let's keep navigating now. We know that the search function didn't give us much in this immediate area, so walking it is just going to be fine. Having this flat land, though, is going to be great for a search, right? We're going to probably go 1 turn down and then search again. Over here, we're going to search this cave or massive sinkhole that has opened near a struggling community, and it reveals a collapsed silver mine. Nice story. We're right there. Silver is right there. The residents are elated, but they question their safety. So, we could have a double silver mine here, right? We reinforce the mine works. This is nice. So, this is actually the first time I see this one. I've played for quite a bit of hours since the 5th actually. And this is the first time I'm getting this one. I did get the wine narrative event before. So do we get the gold, which is a great choice, but as Isabella, we started off with extra gold because of our discovery of the Great Barrier Reef, so that's why we are at 340 and not just 40. Or do we make this silver mine, or this tile a silver mine? What does silver do? Well, we get 20% gold towards purchasing units, which, if we settle over here, having 2 of them, this resource stacks. How do you know that? Well, I will say this. I wish the icons were a little... maybe I'm missing it. So let's see what I'm talking about. Maybe because I'm missing it, right? This is a bonus resource, which means, and this is indicated right here, bonus resource. If I was to... I'm sorry. I can't uncheck it yet because I don't have another way to put it. But anyway, bonus resources are allowed to be slotted into cities and towns. Overarching word for that, settlements, right? Settlements are cities and towns. What happens when we first settle a new settlement? It will be a town, and then we can choose to upgrade that town into a city later on, or we can even choose to specialize that town and keep it a town. Anyway, for the sake of resources, this is a bonus, and it can go into either one, city or town. And right now, this one is in our city, obviously, and it's giving us 3 production. I know from playing the game that this is an empire resource, silver. Silver and empire resources are not slotted in either cities or towns. They are just a benefit for the entire empire. I think wine is also, right? But you notice my only thing here is that the background colors are not the same, right? This one's a dark brown. This one is a very light green-ish. Gypsum over here, a very dark brown color. Then we have salt over here, which is like a teal color. Our bonus resource over here is gray. There are other bonus resources like sheep. Are there any sheep here yet? No. And I think cotton is also a bonus resource. But anyway, there's also another term called city resources. Oh man, right? And those can only go slotted into cities, not towns. So I wish there was like a universal color icon for that, but right now there isn't, and that's fine. We'll still get it. But I think we want this one because, back to what I was saying, empire resources stack. So we'll take that one as that, and let's see if that fixes that. There it is. So what do I mean by stack? So this 20%, I can have 4 of them, and I'm getting 20% each time. Not 40%. If we do the math out there, it's 20% of the 20, and it keeps stacking that way. At least I think that's how the math works out. I should check that in game. But anyway, we have 2 of them there, so that will help us in purchasing units, and we'll see them actually getting cheaper and cheaper. All right, we're going to send these guys down without an army commander. I'll explain why that's suboptimal. Ooh, but possibly not the worst thing in the world. All right, so let's see. So this is a Queen of Two Crowns. This is a story for Isabella. So I have seen this narrative event quite a few times as I've played her a bit. So Isabella hears the call of the divine of the divine more in silences than in languages. She holds the world in her hands, contemplating where she will be called to seek its future. Do we want to seek the future on the sea? In which case, researching sailing would unlock this benefit of plus 25% production towards training galleys in all settlements. Settlements, remember, air means cities and towns, even though technically you can only produce units out of cities. You can buy units out of towns. Or do we want to go across this land where we get plus 25 science upon training a commander? Or we could just take 25 culture right now and not continue the story, right? Or not be unlocked a quest, right? These two options, selecting this option, will begin a quest, right? Nice icon there that tells us that. For the sake of this story, though I naturally pick research sailing, I feel like our early naval units are not going to be a factor here. So far, the land that I've been exploring and the land that I want to settle in, not all of it has these coastal accesses. Though this one looks like it does, and this is a nice area to settle. This one definitely doesn't, right? And I think I want a settlement here as well as we expand our land. So what I'm saying is, for the sense of this story, especially since we also have some enemies down here, and we're probably anticipating some more people not liking our settlement sprawling, right? Our nation sprawling. I think the training of the army commander and getting this 25 science, though it's not a huge benefit, I do like the long-term effect of this. This one plays more into our story, so we're going to go across the land, as we are actually doing. We are spreading across this land. Now, what do I want to do across this land? Let's go pottery next, right? So continuing to expand our infrastructure. Masonry is definitely coming after this. We're going to forego sailing. All right, let's go with... Yeah, we're going to save these guys. And the reason we are not going to... Actually, let me switch that. The reason why I'm thinking here is because of gold, right? Gold is such a powerful resource, and having Isabella with a start bias toward a natural wonder and getting the benefit of 300 gold right off the bat upon finding it or discovering it, right? We could purchase some of these things and thus improve our infrastructure right away, or our defense right away, right? We could buy units. The way I like to play anyway is if I'm buying something, whether it's a building or a unit, I like to produce the other thing I didn't buy, right? The thing that I forewent or foregone. So in this case, because we are defending things, I might purchase a settler. I'm sorry, a slinger, not a settler yet. We don't have access to that yet. I think that unlocks at 5 population. And we are at 3. So I might purchase a slinger and produce... Nah, you know why? Because the slinger is less turns. So we're going to produce a slinger, but we're going to buy a building. And we're going to buy this one to increase our production, our saw pit. So the saw pit, you can read, it adds 1 production on camps and woodcutters. This is a warehouse production building, so it's ageless, which means it will persist forever. And it's buildable in all ages. And now I may have actually combined 2 terms there with ageless and persistent, and I apologize. But this ageless building means that it will exist for the entirety of the game, producing or providing its yields. And we're going to place it. Where would we place it? Oh, I like this little cliff here. And I don't think I want to do anything on this cliff just yet. Though I can put a woodcutter there. Why can I do that? Because this is a forest. And this is a forest. And I'm actually going to go down here. And there's 2 reasons. First, I like this happiness tile. You can see production, culture, happiness. Ooh, right? So we're going to keep that one. We're going to expand down here for 2 reasons. 1, 2 production, right? Same thing. But, sorry, should have purchased. But when we do produce this building here, and upon buying it, we're going to build it instantly, it will grab up these 3 tiles around it, right? We continue to expand our influence, as you can see there. So once a district is complete, just like we saw it over here with the rural district of this camp, Same is true with the urban district, where we have the saw pit, right? It's going to expand our influence. Our borders are going to keep pushing out. So you get to dictate where you want to grow, right? Which direction you want to go in. Let's go next turn. We'll cap it here at turn 10. It just feels like a natural break in about 20-30 minutes in. I'll go a little faster next time, as I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain everything to you, but certainly if you're new to the game, want to help you out just a little bit, right? If you're playing along with me in the background and we're going at a very similar pace, at least you can hear my thought process as to why I'm doing things. Again, in a very suboptimal approach, because again, I prefer the immersion of the storytelling versus trying to win the game, as I've continued to mention. So that the next few playthroughs I'll probably go just a little faster. Ooh, nice. So our scout over here to the west is finding a lot of things. First, notice that there's a difference between this, and it's not just the type of personalities that they are, right? This independent people are very scientific. This independent people are militaristic. This independent people has the red outline, which indicates their hostility. This one has a yellow icon, which indicates their friendliness, right? And we can see it right here. So we have the Aratium village, and their relationship is friendly. They have temporary fortifications here. Nothing strong, it's just a little settlement right now. These people are starting, just like us. And then over here, you can see their relationship is hostile, right? The Jeshi village. And again, just starting, simple fortifications for them, protecting their people. Right, so that's the difference there. You are able to see who is friendly, who is not. And because these folks are friendly, we will be speaking to them a little bit more in our next episode, where we are going to talk about what the heck is influence and why can't we do these things just yet. But that'll be for next episode. Let's continue moving our other unit, which we said he was going to search. I don't like that I'm not going to search on this hill, but that's okay, because I can't get there and search, right? There's 2 movement. So we're going to go 1, finding a desert. And then we're going to search. What a way to end the episode, huh? We find the island of Thera.
The whole place burned like fire.
A beautiful wonder. What happens? Besides its beauty, we get some gold for that. Remember, we had just spent about 200 some odd gold for this. Look at our gold now. We are at 425 upon finding Thera, and this, as I said, is a perfect break for this episode, as we're going to hit next turn soon. This is a fantastic place to settle for us. Why? Oh yes, quiz time. Why is this a great spot to settle? Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, Isabella with her double yield production on natural wonders. This is not just going to give us 4 culture and 2 happiness. It's going to give us 8 culture and 4 happiness. Oof. We're going to be cranking out the quiz number question number 2. What is culture good for? Yeah, right. Civics tree, right? So we're going to be cranking out civics production just off of these natural yields. And the 4 happiness per tile. What does happiness do for us? Yeah, right, our social policies, right? This is going to be cranking out a lot faster. Remember, this said 192, I believe, before, because we were generating 1 per turn. Now we're at 5, so we essentially 5 times that, right? So now it's, as you can see, it's 36 turns before our next celebration, and we're going to fix that a lot more. Fantastic job. I mean, this is the first time I'm doing this episode. First playthrough, live playthrough of Civ 7 on the Fractal map, and so far it's looking kind of nice for us. No direct rivalry just yet, but we have fights impending, new lands that we have our greedy little eyes on, and ambitions that grow beyond our current borders. Come back for the next one. Peace.